let me just go over it a little bit. So you guys remember the difference between the Lightning components and Visualforce components? Which one was the new technology? Which one was the old version, I can say?
Lightning is the new one, I guess.
Lightning is the new one. And these are the differences. I'm not gonna go one by one. And can we create a component for inheriting CSS from the parent, or do we need to always define it inside the Salesforce component? So if you guys remember, we can build a relationship in between two components. You can think about like, well, one of the component will be the parent, the other one will be the child component. And when we define the components, we were just talking about, like, for example, if this is the page, this one is one component, this one is another, this one is another. So we are trying to build these are by writing the code with the Aura component. We can do it with the LWC also. We talk about some Aura method tags. Do you guys remember where to create this? Where to create this Lightning components?
Apex file new. Lightning component, the fourth one on the bottom.
This one right here, right? So today we are gonna talk about some more details. I think we were just around right here. Check the other one. Yeah, we talk about the pages, home page, record page, and we just revise how to reach there. And when we check, we also notice like some of the stuff was revised by the Salesforce. So we should be right here. We are gonna talk about the attributes. Like attributes, you can just think about while you are writing down any methods inside the like parentheses. Sometimes you insert some values, right? For example, you can insert a list of account or list of contact. Then you can put another values. What do we call them while we are writing down the Apex code? Parameters. In here, while we are writing down any Aura components, we call them attributes. Like basically they are the variables which we can store some values inside. But some of the attributes, they are gonna be required, and we have to put the value inside that attributes. The other ones, they might be some optional attributes. So this is one of the example. For example, if we are writing down any Aura component, if you remember from the HTML thing, you are creating a P tag, right? It's a starting tag, and this is the ending tag. Same thing here. This is the starting, this is the ending tag. The only thing, instead of P, we are using Aura colon component. Aura colon component, and it's starting with the slash, since this is the ending tag. Normally, this one right here, it is starting with Aura, and it is a self-closing tag. But since when we put here Aura attribute, we have to have the name and type values. So if you are putting any attribute, you need to use Aura column attribute in the beginning. Then you have to require, because name and type, these are the required ones. These we were calling, like inside of the parentheses, we were calling just parameters, right? In here, this is the attribute and these are the parameters for it. And these are the values for these parameters. What is the value of the type parameter? Like string. So normally when you put any attribute, these are the parameters. But only two of them, name and type, these are the required one. The others are optional. So even if you don't write it down, your code will be working. You are not gonna have any issue on that. But if you miss only one of the required parameters, then it's not gonna be working. Maybe it is not making too much sense right now, but you know the logic from the HTML stuff, and you know them from the like CSS. You are using like color, then you are putting colon over there, and then you are saying like blue. It is kind of like that. But the thing is, you need to remember there are some required parameters inside the attributes. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Can we do the style thing before that opening Aura component tag? Are we doing something like that to make them like colorful or change the font? Anything?
He's gonna show you guys, since I don't wanna mess up with his schedule, but
Okay.
you guys are gonna use that style, and you have to use that style because you are gonna use the CSS, HTML, and JavaScript while you are writing down the Aura components. And also for the Lightning Web component, also you are gonna use the JavaScript. But I'm not the expert of it, so that's why I hesitate to show you guys any code.
All right. Mm-hmm. That's okay.
And okay, so from here, I'm just gonna delete some stuff, then I'm gonna show you something.
Can I ask you something while you are at
Yes.
this page? Is this considered as div, the first three boxes on top, or no? Like I'm trying to.
Are they what?
Div. Div.
No.
No.
Div is something like it's not like the paragraph, but you are dividing some stuff.
Okay, so the end result is not gonna look like that page.
These boxes, like these are components. Like we were checking on the Lightning App Builder for the request.
Yes, but when we create that, like with like HTML, when it's like CSS, like are we gonna be using div for that or no? I never understood so much, but he mentioned,
Okay.
Sanjay mentioned last week that we were about to start and we ran out of time. So I'm trying to visualize how div would look.
Okay.
Maybe in Salesforce page.
Maybe I cannot write it down the divs right now, but I can show you.
Yeah, I'm just like curious about the end result, like how that would look on a page.
So this is like div, right?
Okay. Okay. Got it.
So, like, what can I say? You are just, if since you are writing down any HTML right now, you are just maybe couple of lines, you are writing down something, maybe 100 lines or maybe 500 lines, that's it. But while they are actually creating some website, they are using bunch of lines, and they would like to design it separately.
Mhm.
So because of that, use the div tag. When they use the div, they can give like different divs, and then they can
Diamond.
style that divs separately.
Right.
That's why, like, using div, it is very common, but it is not gonna make it it's not gonna make it like this, something like this.
Mm.
But you can just use the divs to determine, like, one part of your code. You can use different style for that. For example, if this is one div, okay,
Mhm.
this part, and I would like to do the background black, I would like to put them inside the circle, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
But I would like to apply that one just for here.
Right.
So I can write down all the codes for this, and I can just put these are inside a div.
Mhm.
And I can determine this div is, maybe I can give different name, or maybe I can say div1, div2, something like that. And then while I'm using any external CSS or internal CSS, whatever you say, you can just use div1. In that way, you can only use that style for this division.
Mhm. Okay. Okay, got
So
it.
it is not like creating a component, but it's like a division.
Okay.
If you just talk about, like, say this is like one A4, inside here you have lots of stuff written, but you would like to separate them from each other. So there is a section is ending here, but inside that section you have one div here. And when I come over here, it is just covering whole thing,
Yes.
but I don't know until where. There is another div, it is just
Mhm.
for top, if you
Right.
notice that.
Yes. Okay.
So
Right. Thank
this
you.
div, it is just for only right top corner, this one.
Mhm.
So it is not like components, because components should be separated. But if you check right now like this, there is nothing like a component. But
Yes.
when you hover over it, it is just for this portion.
Yes. Okay.
The
Thank you.
logic looks like similar, but it's not the same thing with the component.
Mm.
We are just dividing to make it easy for us to give them some different styles.
Thank you.
You're right. So there was some couple of components I am just gonna delete, and we are gonna create them again. So there's no lightning component. And if I refresh this one, okay, so I don't have any. Now I'm just gonna follow up what Aslı said to create a Aura component. Coming here, file, new lightning component. And I would like to give a name as a, say, empty. Why did I say empty? Because I'm not gonna select any of these component configurations. So this is the first one I am creating. It's not gonna give me option for the number, I believe. So I'm just gonna keep it empty. Okay, the empty component, it is gonna be like this. This is the beginning tag. This is the ending tag. That's all. And still, this is valid. We have some component bundles, if you remember. It is creating the first one, component first. Then we can create the controller, helper, style. We can continue like that, but I'm not gonna create the others. So if we don't select anything, then this is what we are gonna get. This is the basic. But in here, it is asking, like, there are some different interfaces we talked about previously. I can remind you guys. And I can show you from here. I'm creating another one. I'm just gonna say all for this, because I'm just gonna select all these configurations. Now, if you see the difference, inside the beginning tag, I have some stuff. And what do we call these are? Each and every one of them is something different. This part is different. This part is different. If I just select this one, it is something different. Each and every one of these are the interfaces. So while we are creating the Aura components, we are determining the interfaces. Now, if we try to understand the question, which interface to use if you want your component to be available for all pages, we need to use this interface, which is, if I compare with here, Flexi page column available for all page types. But do I need to memorize all this stuff? Because some of the interfaces, it is already given us. We can select them from the beginning. This is one of them. So if I need to use an interface, which I can reach that interface from anywhere, I would like to make sure that interface is available for all the pages. Then I need to implement this interface. To implement this interface, we are gonna create different components to understand which one is doing what. So I'm just gonna create another one. Now I would like to go by their names. Okay, I am giving this name Lightning tab, and I'm just choosing this Lightning tab configuration here. Okay, I need to put one more thing.
Can we use space here or?
Instead of that, I'm just gonna use underscore. Now, if you notice that it is just using only one interface, which is force colon app hostable. So if you use the Lightning tab configuration, if you just click on that one, this is what you are gonna get. And like each and every one of them, they have different meanings. That's why I'm just gonna apply this one for each and every different configuration by their name. So I'm just gonna implement this one only. Lightning page. I am just implementing this. This is for the record page. If you notice, it takes two interfaces. Now, I'm just gonna implement this. Then okay, this is the last one. So in this question, which one we are looking for? Flexi page available for all page types. Why we are using this one? If we would like to reach that interface, or we can say this interface is available from all the pages, we need to use that one, which is Lightning page. So if I use this one, this configuration, Lightning page configuration, then automatically it is gonna give me this interface. When I implement this one, this interface will be available from all the pages. Does it make sense? Because if we go through here, we are gonna see only 5 different configuration here, but the interfaces are more than 5. These are all like provided by Salesforce while we are creating, but it is not restricted with only 5 interfaces. I'm just trying to show like which one you should pick, which one you can, and what is the purpose of it. Because sometimes you are gonna receive a question over the interview. Because these are something they can get the response easily. You don't need to type any code, but this is part of the code you need to know. So they can ask you, I would like to write down an Aura component, but I want my interface will be reachable from all the pages. or this interface will be like available for all the pages. What should I use as an interface? In that way, you should be able to say this. Or you can say, while we are creating the Aura component, we can pick the Lightning page. It is gonna give us this interface. While we are creating the Aura component, we need to select the Lightning page. In that way, it is gonna give us this one. So for at least these 5, like the 5 configurations which is provided from the beginning, I want you guys to memorize it. This is only one of them. There is another one. Which interface can be used to get the ID of the record from the record detail page? This is the question. And for that one, you need to pick the Lightning record page, which is this one. So what is the interface here? It is right here or here. So it is asking you to get the ID of the record from the record detail page. So if you just think this is the record detail page, you are getting the ID of it. First column has record ID. Does it make sense? I know it makes sense, but you guys
Yes.
are thinking like how we are gonna memorize all these things. You will, no worries. It's only 5 of them. But normally interfaces, it is more than 5. You are gonna see a couple of them over the slides. So let's see the other one. Did you guys already implement like I did?
I didn't.
I
No.
didn't.
Yeah. For example, I want you to save it like this way. In that way, you can see, you can identify it easily. First, I started with the empty one. It just gave me this one. So I didn't select any of that configurations, 5 of them, nothing. So this is the one. If I select all of them, then it is gonna give me all these interfaces. And then I picked one by one. This is the first one. This is the second one. This is the third one. If you guys want to do that with me, you can just do it. I can give a couple minutes, or I can continue. You guys can create it later on.
Can you give us 5 minutes, Mehmet Bey? I wanna try
Okay. Sure.
complete right now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Finally, we are not gonna put anything inside as a code, but
Okay.
at least I want you guys to remember, like when you click on the Lightning page, what are you gonna see? You are gonna implement this one.
Mhm. Okay.
So maybe later on I can create a table. Then I can ask you guys to like match with each other, something like that. But on the interview, if they are gonna ask you a detailed question from the Aura components, this is the one of them. They can ask you, these are the general stuff. you are gonna memorize it anyway for the bundle, component bundles, but these are the details of it. And also they can include what is the purpose, like why do we need to create this available for all page types. Some of them you can easily understand from their name. So when you implement this interface will be available for the all pages. Okay, I'm just waiting a couple more minutes. Are you guys done or do you need more minutes?
Couple of minutes.
I'm done. I have a question. You have the same thing on your screen, but I don't know why it's happening. So when we create a new Lightning component page, when we give it a name, like let's say empty, and it's .cmp, and there's also another empty or another all.
This is like when you create a component, normally you are giving the name for the component, but it is creating the component with starting to create the component, one of the bundle like component, it's creating the first one. So this is the first one. You are giving the name for that whole component, and then it is creating the first of the bundle, which is component
Okay.
with the CMP. Because what's gonna happen when you click on this as a controller, it just created empty controller.js. So
Okay.
it is keeping the first name which you gave for the whole bundle,
Mm.
and then it just created the controller file for that bundle.
Mm, okay.
So you are gonna like, whenever you create any component, you are gonna see that.
Okay. So what will be inside the .cmp class?
You mean,
Like when we write, like what is going on there?
so inside these are, Sanjay is gonna explain.
Okay.
I'm not gonna go through, but if you remember, I was mentioning that like while we are writing a code, a trigger, Apex class for it, handler class, and then we were creating some controller class, Apex class, and also we were creating a test class for it, and they were all related to each other. Like
Right.
we were just jumping from one to another one. In here, at least these four.
We
when
will
you
work on those, right? At
Yes.
least, yes.
At
And
least.
in each one of them will create another tab on top, right? Like you did, we clicked on controller and we did have a
Yes.
JS. Yeah, okay.
So then you need to like connect to, for example, the component. You need to connect that controller to the component.
Right. Is that
You-
all happening in .cmp under here? The connection?
No, connection wherever you are. For example, if you are on the controller, you need to write some stuff here, connect this one to the component.
Okay, I see. Okay.
And also for the controller, we were mentioning there is one JS controller, one Apex controller, if you guys remember.
Yes. On server side and client side.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm just trying to find it. This is the Apex controller over the server. And for the client side, UI side, we are using the JavaScript controller, which is I just created for empty controller.
Yes. Okay.
It's gonna make more sense later on. I know. There's a bunch of
Right now
questions.
it's scary.
No.
Thank you.
We wish so.
Believe me, you are gonna feel lucky when Sanjay start to show this stuff, because most of the thing he's gonna say, just wait, you are gonna see, and then you are gonna wait, and you are gonna forget your question. That kind of stuff is happening. That's why, like, I'm just trying to show the highlighted stuff. I'm not trying to go like deeply how to connect to each other, that kind of stuff. He can explain that stuff.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
But at least you know before you start, like how to create it,
Create this.
and like why we have a bunch of stuff here, different files here, and what are they doing exactly. So these kind of question, instead of asking Sanjay, you are getting the knowledge from the beginning. But still you can ask him to confirm it sometimes to hear from him. You can do that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So is everyone done?
Yes.
Creating these files? Okay.
Yes.
So we were just right here. Can you guys check? Can you see anything like this interface? Lightning : action override. This is the interface. It is used to override a standard action. Now, maybe you are thinking, why do we need to do that? But sometimes you are gonna need it. And if you check the files which you created, you are not gonna be able to see this interface.
Yes, it's not there for me.
Yeah. I am checking inside the all as record ID course community available for all page types, force lightning quick action, but that's it. So as I mentioned before, some of the interfaces, they are not inside that 5 different configurations, which we can see while we are creating the component. This is one of them. Okay, now we are looking for an interface for using the components in a quick action. So if you remember right here, it is right after this. Right here. Force column lightning quick action. When we implement this interface, then we are gonna be able to use it for the quick action. The other one, we need an interface to use that component in the record homepage. So if you remember, we have something for the record, and it is Flexi page available for record home. And if you remember, when we use this, we are using for get the ID of that record page also. So whenever you pick the Lightning record page configuration, you are taking these two interfaces together. This one you are just using because you would like to use this interface on the record homepage only. If you guys remember, there was like a record page, app page, homepage. So if you would like to use it right here, then you are gonna pick that record one. Okay. Let's see. Okay. We just see this. Right now, if we are looking for an interface and we would like to use this component to be used as a tab, we need to use force colon app hostable interface. And how we can find that one? If we just pick the Lightning tab, which is the first one, then it is gonna be usable as a tab. Otherwise, it's not gonna be. Okay, what is the purpose for the Lightning column is URL addressable interface. We are using this one when we are navigating to the component, and also when the component to be navigated implements inside this interface. So can you guys check, can you see any is URL addressable? I believe it is not here.
No.
I don't see.
Yeah. This is one of the other one. It is not part of this configuration, but it is still a interface we can use.
So what was that URL thing? Sorry, I was taking note.
Lightning : is URL addressable.
Mehmet Bey, do we know how many interfaces
Uh,
Salesforce provide?
I don't know
Actual number.
in total.
Okay.
We don't need to memorize all of them, but at least we need to know, like when we pick all that configurations, like 5 of them at least, we need to know.
In this one, we don't know which configuration, right?
Yeah, this is not part of that configuration.
And this is still an interview question.
Yes.
So
So-
this is, yeah, go ahead, sorry.
No, I'm done. I'm trying to understand. Do we need to know all the interfaces?
Yeah, you can basically say for this one, like, even while they are asking the question, it is gonna be hard to understand this one.
Yes.
They might type over the chat because go through the interview when they ask you the question, because everyone has different accent, and
Yes.
since you are excited because you are inside the interview, even if you know some stuff, some terms, maybe you are not gonna be able to recall them. That's why, like, you can ask them, can you type over the chat? If it is a Zoom chat or Microsoft Teams chat, it doesn't matter. They can type it over the chat. In that way, you can easily remember, or you can say, oh, this one. So if we would like to use this interface as a addressable URL, we can just use this one, but this is not one of the interface we can pick while we are creating the Aura components, something like that.
Okay.
Is this still, like, can this still be added as a attribute? Or like
As a interface,
manually typed? Yes.
yes, we can type.
Okay, then it can be like by typing to
Yeah, for example,
in
doesn't allow me to. If I try to come back,
I checked, yeah, it looks like we can type it.
yes, we can. But we need to put implements first.
Can we add it here? I tried to add it here. It looks like I can type it there as one of the
Yeah,
attributes.
you can put a comma and then you can put that in. So in here, for example, then comma. If we just put this one something empty, like this one, It's gonna make more sense. We need to put them inside the, I believe, double quote. Yes, inside the double quote. Now it is saved. So these interfaces you cannot pick from the beginning, but you can still implement it by manually typing. Okay. So sometimes we are gonna create a handler, and while we are creating this handler, how can I say, did we create any handler over the Apex yet? No. Okay. Sometimes we are gonna create this handler that is gonna, for example, while you are creating the buttons, if I'm not mistaken, we are using this. When we create the handler, we want the values to be dynamic most of the time, right? While we are writing any code, we don't want to type something hard coding. Instead of that, we would like to see some values dynamic. If something change, that value is going to change automatically. That's why while we are creating any handler, which is going to be like Aura colon handler, then it is going to be some required parameters, and the value of that parameter will be changing. So, for example, for the value parameter, the value is this one inside the double quote, and it is starting with the exclamation mark. This exclamation mark is important because this is gonna make your value dynamic. When you put, like, if you just write down without any exclamation mark, then it is gonna be static because there is also pound sign or hashtag. When you use hashtag, it's gonna be static, but if you use with the exclamation mark, then it's gonna make it dynamic. Same thing here. We are gonna talk about this one later on the other questions also. It is about data binding. We are just trying to hesitate to make our code hard coding. We are just trying to make it dynamic. In that way, it is gonna be flexible. When the component change or the value change, it is gonna be flexible. It's gonna take the new value and it's gonna assign it to the value parameter. Don't focus on the parameter names and the other stuff right now. The most important part is here, exclamation marks. It makes dynamic for that value, the whole value. And if you notice one more thing, different than the HTML stuff, they are inside the curly parentheses. Inside the double quote, inside the curly parentheses, starting with the exclamation mark. Why you can ask like why it is like this, why it is starting like with the curly parentheses, that kind of stuff. These are all written inside that developer help documentation, which is provided by Salesforce. I'm gonna give the links later on. So this is the way to write it down. They describe it. That's why we need to follow this structure or this syntax. Does it make any sense? No? Okay. Let me show you the...
Merit Bey, may I ask you something?
Yes, sure.
When we work on Visual Studio, we are able to see our web pages. Are we gonna able to see when we create our components in Salesforce?
Yeah, just think about like this.
Mm-hmm.
When you create this Aura components or the Lightning Web components, what is the purpose of it?
Creating or visualizing our pages.
Yeah, from on the UI side, right?
Yeah.
So you are gonna be able to go and check from there.
Yes. So I think it's gonna, when we are gonna start to work on it, everything is gonna make sense altogether. I think
Yes.
we are
Like,
gonna see by one by.
think about like this. Whenever you type something
Mhm.
over the Visual Studio Code, you are starting typing a p tag, ending the tag, and inside you are putting some stuff. On the top, you are just describing a title. And when it does make sense, whenever you save that HTML file and open over the Google Chrome, then you are gonna see a tab which is including the title which you provided. Then it makes sense. Then you are understanding that whatever I write down as a title, then I am gonna see on my tab. Or whenever I choose the background color blue or black, then I am gonna see my whole page with the black background.
Is
Then
it
it's gonna make sense. Same thing is happening here. Yes, Aslı.
Is it just like we do in HTML, saving in some place and then going back to UI and refreshing it and see the result?
Yeah.
Is it that easy to see the difference, the changes
Yes.
we?
Yes.
Okay.
It is easy like this. Like,
I'm doing the same thing in HTML now. For example, I give like 10 pixels and then go check
yes.
on the UI and then see if it's enough and then come back and make it 20 and then go back and change and see the
For
change.
example, you are creating a component to apply that one for the account record page, right? So you are just creating only one of this component. This one, or this one, or this one, something like that. These are already provided by Salesforce as a standard. But whenever you create something new, it is going to come back here. Since we already created these components, right? We said all as a name. So what we are going to do, since it is empty right now, but we are going to just pull and put over here. Then we are going to fill inside this component. Since this one doesn't have any controller, this one doesn't have any style, So it is just empty box, but it is a component. Then we created another one. We said lightning page, and I would like to put this one underneath the other one. So I have two components here. Whatever you did and saved on the Aura components, then you are just gonna save them and come back here and just check from here. You are just gonna save it, then you are gonna go to the account record page and you are gonna check it from there. So for example, I just put two more components here, but they are empty, right? I'm just saving it. Where did I save them? Okay, where did I save them? Underneath the account record page. So if I go to this is accounts. This is my account record page. I have two more components here, but they are empty. So it doesn't make any sense right now. But whenever I do give them any background color, or if I type something inside, then I'm gonna be able to see them here. Does it make sense? So your UI side will be here. When you come and check, you are gonna see the difference. You are gonna see what did you create. In that way, it is gonna make more sense. Because we are just keep talking about the backend, which you are typing the code over here. So which component I included? This one, right? Okay, I saved that one.
Did you add available for all page? Something like
It was under the all, so it should have all the interfaces.
okay then.
Did you save it? Maybe it didn't save it, the class.
I'm just gonna check them here. Oh, it put them on the top, but they're not here.
I think little under. Go scroll down. Yeah,
Yeah,
there you
right.
go.
Then we are gonna configure the color, that kind of stuff, and we are just gonna make it visible. So
Do we have the option to actually edit the rest of the components in this page, or no? Is it only the ones that we created that we can?
say again, like what we can do or we cannot?
So when we create a new like custom component, obviously we can, edit it, save it, like style it. How about the ones that are already here, like that we see the standard?
Yeah,
Standard ones.
we can do some stuff about the standard ones when we just select them, but it is restricted whatever they provide us. So we cannot do more than this.
So it's limited, kind of.
It is limited because it is not giving you option to like, it is just saying add a filter. So you can just put something and you can restrict the value here. But that's what I don't want to do. I just want to make the color this this sentence, for example, but it's not giving me the option here. That's where I'm gonna do it on the backend.
Okay.
I'm gonna give the style, then I'm just gonna because this is just giving you option for the screen visibility or component visibility. Does it make a little bit sense?
Yes,
Yes.
for me, yes, thank you.
Yes.
So if I refresh this, why it is not still coming up here? It should be under the chatter, yes, right here.
Can we see the code? But we can see it there, right?
I just put a p tag. Inside the p tag, I just said this is my component. So this is just basic HTML knowledge, right? Nothing else.
Yes.
We are just applying it inside the Aura component. That's it. I know in the beginning it looks like something difficult, or there are like lots of bundle stuff and there are lots of interfaces, but whatever you needed, you are just going to implement only that interfaces. And after that point, it is just like limited with the whatever you put inside. And this is just for the component. We didn't give any style or something like that. I think this way it is gonna make more sense later on. So I was just showing the hyperlink for this, which is it is about the application event. And then it says component event. So this is given from another website. It's not the Salesforce one, but you should know that we are gonna discuss this one tomorrow. We have two different event types. One of them is the component event. The other one is the application event. The other one is the system event. So application event, these are some examples. And it is just showing you Aura components as a developer guide. This is the system events. And this is the explanation for the component events. Anyway, I'm gonna share the slides so you guys can also check, but we are gonna continue from 1:38 tomorrow. And until that time, you guys just dig into it. You can just try to break, whatever you can do for that files which you just created. The main purpose, you need to know there are some interfaces to be memorized, and there are more than what you need to memorize as an interface. But for the further details, we are gonna ask the questions to Sanjay. Okay?
Okay.
We are
Thank you.
gonna continue from here tomorrow, and we are gonna most probably finish this one, the Aura components. The only thing will be remaining LWC. We can start the LWC from Wednesday or Thursday. It depends. All right. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you.
See you
Thank
guys
you.
in Sanjay's class.
See you.
See you. Bye.